Hey guy in the 80s, do you love your kids? But do you also kind of hate them too? Well, do we have the perfect toy for you? It's Little Shit. A tiny troll of torturous terror that's also kind of funny. Is it for kids? Is it for adults? I don't know. It's the 80s and we're just into scary little things right now. You laugh with glee when he goes aruga at a beautiful woman. Scream in fear when he burns her alive.
Oh fucking god!
Then laugh again when he gets drunk on beer. Is it meant to be funny? Is it meant to be scary? Who knows? But your kids will want the hell out of it. And because we're the 80s and we're all about making money, we'll totally sell it to them despite it haunting their nightmares. Whether it be Gremlins.
I'll take care of you, Gizmo.
RoboCop.
Surprise, RoboCop.
Or even Batman.
You've got great new weapons, Batman.
We simply don't care. Ethics be damned. But don't trust us. No, really, you shouldn't. Listen to these happy little scamps.
I'll admit, I did think it was pretty scary when he dropped Mother down the stairwell, but then he said a swear word that I didn't even know, and I laughed so hard! I am a little concerned about that machine gun he's putting together, though.
At first, I was afraid when he started watching me at night. But then I saw he liked watching Peter Pan. I like watching Peter Pan, so I like him. What's that, buddy, a grenade?
Little Shit. This is one of our weirder fads.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. I guess we've always had a fear of little things, haven't we? Whether it be bugs or monsters or even our own toys, there's always been something creepy about teeny tiny terrors. But there's always been something kind of hilarious about them too. Why don't they just stomp on them? Why don't they just rip off their heads? There's no raid anywhere? Well, the 80s picked up on this hilarity and combined the horrors of the past with the goofiness of just not giving a shit. Arguably the most famous of these is Gremlins, but the one I find the most hilarious is Critters. Made in 1986, Critters was the directorial debut of Stephen Herek. And if you don't know that name, you should. He is the Steven Spielberg of phenomenally okay. Chances are you saw a movie of his that wasn't spectacular, but by God, you will always remember. Which is more than you can say for a lot of directors that come and go. Critters is no exception. While I can't say it's groundbreaking or anything, there is something so memorably bizarre about it. You just think of this movie and you start giggling. It doesn't try to be anything it's not, and what it is fucking ridiculous. And we're here to celebrate this bushel of by looking over its best head-scratching moments. So sit back and brush up on your critter vocabulary. Yeah, it's the only one I memorized too. This is Critters. Oh yeah, back when the New Line logo was NARC for some reason. I think this film sets its tone early on.
The cranks are up to something.
Experiment 626 is loose! Play, he does not come across adorable comic foil! Ah, so that's what happens when you don't consult your doctor when an erection lasts over 4 hours.
They've stolen one of our fastest ships with enough fuel to cross the galaxy 10 times over.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is the point where Raphael walked out.
Where did they come up with this stuff?
Congratulations! You are the first reviewer to ever make that joke.
I am?
Yes. Nobody in the history of online criticism has ever thought of referencing that clip.
Oh my god, I feel so honored!
Yes, and as a reward, I'm going to turn you into a real puppet.
What? What the fuck?
You will receive full payment, as usual, only upon evidence of their destruction.
The Krites, as the aliens call them in this movie, naturally head to the planet Earth. Which seems to be on pause mode. Let me undo that real quick. Oh no, that's just real life. And we see a mother played by Dee Wallace. Because it's in her contract, if anything supernatural happened in the 80s, she had to be the mother in it.
April telephone!
Let's see, the apron matches my shirt matches the wallpaper. With any luck, I'll be invisible and no one will remember me from this movie.
You're a real shithead, you know?
Bradley!
Boy, I'm gonna wash your mouth out.
Dad!
You miss that bus, I'm gonna skin you and hang your bones out to dry.
That moment you realize he's the killer in the film. This is all a prequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Thank you for the lovely breakfast you prepared, Mother.
Hey, you want a thanks? Don't decorate the kitchen in board game colors. Why don't you try my color scheme? Only one eye bleeds with that. Also, let's pause for a minute and ask, where did that kid's red hair come from?
Morning, Sal.
Hey, his hair used to be red. Mystery solved! And Emmett Walsh plays the cynical Southern bumpkin sheriff, a stretch from the cynical Southern bumpkin everything else he plays, who's getting tired of locking up the town drunk Charlie, played by Ben Stiller doing Simple Jack.
I'm getting him through my fillings just like last time. Started getting these messages.
This is Patrol Chief.
Do you hear that?
It's Jeff.
I'm on.
Oh, come on, give him some credit. He thinks aliens are communicating through his feelings, and that is Neelix.
Come on, lover, pick it up.
Cut the horse shit, Jeff.
Sorry.
Why don't you just go on out to Jane Helen's? You don't want to get fired now.
This town acts like it's perpetually preparing for space invaders. Now, speaking of which, the bounty hunters get advice from Jabba's assistant. Sorry, I have too much dignity to Google his name. And he gives them some essential videos on what Earth's culture is like. Oh yeah, that looked the most interesting out of everything displayed. We get, honestly, a damn good effect of the bounty hunter changing into the singer named Johnny Steele, who sounds like a cartoon show about a boy with a magic watch. I couldn't decide what sex I wanted to be, so I went with D, all of the above. Back on Earth, Charlie's horsing around with Bradley, played by Scott Grimes, basically doing what people with barns and horror stories always do.
I thought I told you to get rid of them fireworks.
You gotta try and concentrate on what you're doing, okay? I'm gonna...
Why does everybody dress like they're auditioning for Matt Frewer from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
That don't feel right.
I mean, a boy with a slingshot? Every bit of media says we got him, but by God, I've never seen a kid in the 80s actually have one.
Hi, Daddy.
Bradley's sister, April, arrives with her new boyfriend, Steve, played by Billy, you fucking hold down, podunk, well, them there motherfuckers! Zane. He's sporting an 80s v-neck and a 90s ponytail, so he's trash in 2 decades. Ah! Bradley gets in trouble taking the rap for Charlie slingshotting his sister. Now him I'd buy having a slingshot, resulting in Bradley not getting any dinner.
Well, we should get going.
Hun, I kind of figured you'd watch me bowl tonight.
We can stare silently at how humble I am afterwards. Come on, let's make out where my parents can catch us.
The earth moved.
Already?
Well, if Farmer's Daughter's stories have taught me anything, it's there's a wonderful surprise in store for me.
Come in.
Time for your supper and you're beaten. Yeah, I'm tired. Just beat yourself and I'll eat your supper.
Why are you always fighting with your sister?
How come you and Mom always take her side?
Because you dress more feminine than her! I should be more understanding. I saw you trying to figure things out last night.
Well, I can't argue with the lines this creates.
The Krites arrive on Earth, which I think just tried Willy Wonka's gum, and land nearby.
And now for the #1 song of the week, Johnny Steele's Power of the Night.
Fun fact, this is the only song on the entire planet. Yeah, it's literally the only thing that's ever on anywhere. It's the power of the night. It's the power of the night. The room had more soundtrack variety! Before you drive yourself insane for an hour, that's a bowling pin on his shirt. Later in the movie, it's shown more clearly, but for a long time you're asking yourself, what the fuck is that? Anorexic Kirby? A shaved pink panther? Slender Man on Pepto-Bismol? I'd forgive all of this if they went for the obvious name they should have given their team, the Ballbusters. God help you if that's not the name of Critters 12! So the Krites exit their ship and start looking for food. Looks like Dumbass Cop is on the menu.
Hey, Sal. Hey, how about we get some donuts and coffee after work, huh? Over.
He may be a creeper, but he's a big spender. Aw, shit, they're using their powers to persuade him to wiggle into their mouths! I heard Lugosi went a similar way.
Transform.
Nothing likes me.
Find something.
Honestly, it makes sense if he just went with a famous singer as well. There you go, that won't get any looks. Back at the house, the family is hearing all sorts of strange sounds.
This phone is dead.
What?
Yep, that's definitely ghoulies. They go to check the circuit breaker when they finally come across the culprit. Yeah, that looks safe to touch. Let me try putting my balls in it next. It's okay, honey. The popple's just expired. He shakes it off as, good God, what has it been, an hour? This is the longest walk to third base ever.
I'm tired of waiting. The English patient got to the hot stuff faster than you did.
April?
Well, you don't have to yell.
He throws a firecracker at him and... Ooh, this is gonna be good! I guess it did technically surprise me, but... Nah, I want to see that thing blow up. I'm going to a parallel universe. Okay, let's see that scene again. Yeah! See? Subverting expectations isn't always the answer! Search Rise of Skywalker review.
And that's how the new Star Wars trilogy got more and more epic with every passing film.
Glad it worked out somewhere. So the two bounty hunters discreetly enter a nearby church. It's precisely because that scene didn't need to happen that it needed to happen. And they continue to look for their target.
We're here for the Christ.
I'm sorry, you've heard wrong. We have the Christ here, and I think you scared him away. That wasn't Power of the Night!
We got the answers we needed.
You mean boom, scream, boom?
Yes.
Jay, what are you doing?
We have to kill each other. I'll start with you three, then I'll kill myself.
Well, couldn't we start with...
No. They get attacked outside, or rather, the father gets attacked. I love how he's always the first one they go for. But the mother croquets their asses and they get inside. I really wish she brought this bloodlust to E.T. Meanwhile, back at the bowling alley, the bounty hunters continue to do, honestly, a terrible job. I love this guy in the sparkling orange shirt that's like, what a bunch of fucking weirdos.
Holy shit.
This is the greatest movie ever made. I especially love how the other guy is looking like George Costanza melted into Kevin Pollak. If the rest of the movie was just these two walking around, I'd have no complaints.
It ain't Halloween, is it?
You remind me of the Babe. These guys are as subtle as a circumcision with a chainsaw. How do they find anybody? Back at the house, the family starts to snap at each other due to the stress of the pack tribbles.
Why don't you go check the windows?
I already did.
We'll check them again!
Damn, that went from one to fuck you in a millisecond.
We'll check them again!
Well, somebody's self-quarantined. Bradley suggests going out on his own to get help, and not only does the family agree to it, the sister is almost happy about it.
See ya.
Alright, let's talk allowance. His half is mine now, right?
But one of the critters pushes his bike over, rendering it useless. His army of chickens will come to his aid. Or maybe that should have been edited out. What was that? Meanwhile, the critters start partying in the house because, despite this being written before Gremlins, this was probably put in because of Gremlins. I'm an in-joke that works on too many levels. Bradley comes across the bounty hunters, though, and leads them to the house. Wipe your feet!
Charlie, what do you think you do?
Don't fuck with us, we've taken down Suburban Commando and Spider-Man! The critters get bigger, but phallic gunfire saves the day, as always.
Who's April?
Just grabbed her. I couldn't do it. It was huge.
What are you, drunk? No, I'm just Emmett Walsh. So, to put it bluntly, we've got to save April! As the boy continues to do all the work and goes after his sister. Thankfully, Charlie is there to help as well. Good, he'll need a pawn sacrifice.
What'd they do with Lieutenant Dan?
Bradley sneaks inside and saves his sister while also preparing to blow up their ship. But joke's on them as the Krites blow up their home first. Okay, for a movie whose effects look like Langolier sock puppets, that was a damn good explosion. So good they used the exact same one for when the ship blows up. Yeah, I swear I'm not editing these two clips together. This is how it's presented. It was like a cherry bomb in the sky. Now it's an A-bomb on the ground. I'll take it. Fire is fire.
I know, honey. I lost my porn stash too.
The bounty hunters leave a communicator before they go, which happily has the power to reverse the film. Wow, we're remarkably underwhelmed by that. Aw, were you being sent to Abu Dhabi again? Well, my work here is done. Time to be useless somewhere else. So everything seems fine and good, and... Oh, wait a minute. Come on, sequel. You know you want it. Come on. You know you want it. Come on. We got a bite! Unless those are ostrich turds, which I wouldn't mind seeing a movie and how those got there, too. Critters is respectably stupid. It came out at just the right time and stuck just the right tone, having a similar feel to a lot of those small 80s monsters movies, but still has enough of an identity to be its own thing. My only complaint, I know it's gonna sound weird, but I could have used even more silliness. When you see a movie starting like this, you expect it to go even more all out. But to their credit, that's what sequels are for. And the second one does go even bigger and goofier like a proper sequel should. And yeah, my guess is the budget for this wasn't huge and they made do with what they could, so for what they put together, it's a ton of fun. Roll on in and have a ball. This is a wonderfully dumb good time. And don't forget to buy Little Shit, still available wherever people don't know any better. Check out these happy customers.
Good stuff.
Well, what about our other happy customer? You know, some kids play too rough. I'm the nostalgia critic, I remember. So cute.